Hey there, Fugle fam. Just heard a gentleman on Glenn Beck calling the last 2 minutes of his show. And he said, I really, I'm scared about what's coming with the elections and everything. And, I'm going to cast my ballot and then pack my kids up and leave the country. And Glenn asked him, where would you go? He said, well, I'd go to Honduras, one of the islands off of Honduras. Why? You can't, even if this turns to crap, there really is no safer place than being where you're at, being by your family, by your friends, by the things that you know. The least bit would be going to the cabin in the woods and I'm gonna just go fishing and hunting and I'm not gonna pay attention to what's going on out there. I'm gonna bug out. Really, in the long term, that doesn't help you. It won't help anybody. You have to, okay, say you pack up all your good stuff and you leave and you go to your cabin in the woods that you make a monthly payment to in the Camp Wickamaw, and you stay there for 6 months. What happens to your house that you're paying a mortgage on? Because most people pay mortgages. I don't know very many people that own their house outright. I got the deed. It's a $350,000 house, and I got the deed. I don't know anybody like that. There's nobody, unless you're a millionaire. And I don't know a millionaire. Plain simple. You rent your property? Do you rent your apartment or whatever? Fine, leave your apartment. Stop paying rent. Go live out in the woods somewhere. Fine. But what happens at the end of 6 months? Where are you going to go then? You're going to have to go out and find another apartment and move into it? No. It's just plain lunacy. You can't just run away. Maybe go camping for the weekend. But no, there's not a long-term. That's why bunkers are so taboo and really downright scary, because you're cut off from everything. Everything that makes you a human being, you're cut off from. Okay, so you're a millionaire and you don't have to go to work every day. So you buy a bunker and you live in a bunker. Oh, well, what's the nearest bar that you can go hang out at? What's the nearest bowling alley? Do you have a movie theater that you like to go to? Yeah. A bunker's only good for if you have a nuclear holocaust. But even then, these things are so far out there, unless you have one in your backyard, you're never going to get to it in time unless you have the down low as to what's going on in the next 3 weeks. So you pack up all your stuff and truck it down there and make sure all your systems are working good and you're hunkered in for the last T-minus 10 seconds. Never works out good. It's a waste. Sad. That's my opinion. So this guy, back to what this guy said. This guy says, "Oh, I'm going to go to Honduras." Dude, it just, you're going to leave everything that you know, and then what happens if there's one chance that you have to stop the insanity? It's right next to you. If you didn't leave, it's right there. It's just 7 pounds, baby. 7 pounds, right? So, But if you don't take that chance, that shot, the entire system up here just goes to crap. Well, then what happens to the outside world? So what happens to Europe? What happens to Asia? What happens to, Africa? What happens to Australia? What happens to all these other countries and these provinces and Canada and Mexico and, Guatemala? Panama? What happens to Panama? The big picture is we are the glue that holds it all together. We keep working, keep pushing, keep prepping, keep our ears to the ground like a railroad track. If the train's gonna come, you better get your head off the track. Move out of the way. Because you don't want to be that person. Get your head cut off by a railroad. Ugh. Sick. But anyway. So, I thought that I'd make a little video on, the lunacy of really bugging out. I've heard people saying, well, I'll go east and I'll go to the campsites and, if the volcano goes off, I'll go live in a tent and blah, blah, blah. Power grid goes out, I'll go live in a tent. No. What? So you can be wolf meat? What the hell are you talking about? It just boggles my mind. Your best, honestly, the best prepping advice for anyone is just to be knowledgeable. Not have a runaway plan. Be knowledgeable. Be willing to adapt to your surroundings, to be capable of doing whatever needs to be done at that moment without fear. Okay. I'll give you a little life story. I was working at the big WM. It's my factory of sadness. Walmart's. And I got home from work. And pulled up in the driveway. My niece was watching my kids. Because, that's what babysitters do. They watch kids. And walked in. Didn't even get to the door. Got to the garage, and my niece runs out and says, something's happening, come in. So I go in there. My son's having a seizure. Did I freak out? Did I panic? No. I did first aid. Put him on his side. Make sure his tongue's not falling in. Just things that you learn when you when you are a intense individual that doesn't let shit fall on your lap and scream. Okay? That's why I hate horror movies. I'm like, no. Not today. I touched my face. It itches right here because I had to wear a freaking mask. Okay, so son has a seizure. Don't freak out. Do first aid. Tell her to call 911. She didn't even do that. She's freaking out. So tell her to call 911. Get him comfortable. Make sure he's not hitting his head. Make sure he's not knocking things over. Just don't hold him in place. Just let it happen. But put your hand under his head. Keep calm. Wait until help arrives. Make sure he doesn't go, into some shock or something. By the time they showed up, it was over. He was waking up. He was crying. He didn't know what was happening. And then we got him on a stretcher, got him out the door, took him to the hospital. Ended up having a shunt put in for hydrocephaly. And, yeah. that happened. The big point is be ready and willing to be in the shit when the shit happens. Don't freak out. Don't be those normalcy biased, complacent POSs that just stand there and shoot shit on their phone while people are getting raped. That's freaking stupid. But that's what kind of world we're living in. So, yeah. Be willing to roll with it. Don't run. Don't have a grand master plan. The only one plan that I really have, and I told this to Fringe Files. Okay, shout out to Fringe Files. She got her channel whacked. Go subscribe. Check her on Twitter. She's trying to do D-Live. She's trying to do all kinds of things to try and get her messages out. It kind of sucks. She's just in a world of shit right now. But, yeah. Oh, God, I got eyelash. But, yeah, shout out to Fringe Files. You know, she's doing the good work, trying to make her channel go big, but, you know, they knocked her down for something. And, yeah. Oh, my Grandmaster plan. Oh, I told this to Fringe Files. That's where I was at. I know how to fly an airplane. Never flown one before. But I tell you what, the first time that I'm going to fly an airplane, I'm probably not going to have an instructor. It will be a total shit fest. But if I had to, I could fly an airplane. And I told her, you know, the only thing that you really have to pay attention to is where are your airports in your area. And if you had to fuel an airplane, break into it, then fly the airplane, could you do it? You know, it's not difficult, but it is dangerous. And I, as Kevin Fuglefam, do all my own damn stunts.